or you guys cut me off. It's hard for me to tell sometime on this phone.
They time out too. I know mine did. In the past, it would time out after so long.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna plug it back, cause
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to convene the Properties Committee meeting today. Call to order. Roll call. Myself, Dave Bowers is here. Dave Valley.
Here.
Don Nicholson. Bill Palin.
Present.
And Marvin Williams.
present.
Thank you. Has everybody had a chance to review the previous meeting minutes? And are there any additions or corrections to them? Hearing none, we'll leave those approved as submitted. Visitors, we'll recognize visitors and give any that would like to speak an opportunity to do so. Yes. Go ahead.
I take my mask off to speak. Thank you, members of this committee, for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Angela Schippert. My home is directly adjacent to the proposed Duke solar panel project. I participated in all the ZBA meetings and fact-finding about Duke solar project, and I can say there are many of my questions left unanswered. First, I want to make you aware of a petition on change.org called Reject Duke Solar Project that's been signed by 284 participants, 78 being from Lee County and others from adjacent counties. I'm going to give you a copy today of the printout, and it's also searchable on change.org. Second, I'm going to tell you today why this project should not even go to the Lee County Board for a vote, as it will economically hinder our county as well as present great risk to human health. Let's dive into the points. The solar project aims to bring $43 million in taxes to our community over 35 years, and that would be distributed among 8 entities. This is a dismal amount when you consider the budgets of those entities and also how much it will hinder businesses in the area and those agriculture companies that contribute regularly to these entities such as schools. That's not even considering tax abatements this project could likely get, which I'm told could be as much as 50%.
I'm sorry, is this new testimony being brought in that this case is in the middle of?
Yeah.
Correct. It needs to be. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
And this is my unfamiliarity, but we can't bring forward anything new to this time. Anything that was presented in ZBA is open to.
Correct, yep, all the finding of
let's-
facts.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll fast forward to
Okay.
ZBA, Article 5, subsection D, that Duke was unable to present evidence that this would not impact property values. That is one thing in their fact-finding mission. And I would argue, or I would say, this is correct, it is clear that it will. Now, since I have other things prepared, importantly, human health, I'm going to open it up to my husband. He's got some things about the certified mailings. Thank you.
As Angie stated, I'm Brad Schippert. I'm her husband here. So according to the fact-finding report that the ZBA put together here, under the first section, paragraph B, section 1, it says, furthermore, certified mailings of the notice were sent to adjacent property owners who would be within 1.5 miles of proposed of project's boundary. However, according to the application, section W, these mailings were only priority mail, and as some of you may know, priority mail and certified mail are complete 2 different things. So this statement here by the ZBA is a false claim, so I would have to ask, why this is in here and why the ZBA chose to word it as certified mailings when there's obvious 100% proof that these were not certified mailings, and there's no proof that the intended recipient received such mailings. So that's just a quick bit on the certified mailings here. I would urge this committee here to you know, as you guys know, that Duke did submit their proposal under the old Lee County Solar Ordinance. And I feel that this ordinance leaves the door wide open for us liability, not liability, I should say, but it doesn't provide any protection for adjacent property owners or residences. Meanwhile, your new ordinance, from the provisions that I've seen that you guys have been making amendments on, you guys are doing a good job of providing adjacent landowners and residences more setback and the choice of landscape buffer, and I do appreciate that. So, you know, the bottom line that I want to get across here is I feel that we should, the committee should recommend to the county board that they vote no for the application, given that the application was applied for under the old ordinance. And, you know, if Duke Energy wishes to do so, apply underneath a new ordinance, I think it'd be a lot more palatable to the public and to the residents of South Dixon Township. Thank you.
Any others? Okay. Tyler, did you want to speak?
Yes, yeah, my name is Tyler Kuhn with Duke Energy Renewables, and I am the developer of the project, the South Dixon Solar Project. The petitioner is actually South Dixon Solar LLC, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Duke Energy Renewables. Duke Energy Renewables has, you know, presented the information and expert witness testimony throughout the Zoning Board of Appeals, and that testimony and a summary of that testimony is included in a packet that's been handed out today for your information. Just hitting some of the highlights and the key points kind of in a nutshell. The Zoning Board of Appeals did unanimously recommend approval of the special use permit. The residential setbacks that we have proposed have been designed with the neighboring landowners in mind. And we have exceeded the setback requirements, as well as provided vegetative tree screening for any neighboring residences to the project, which was not required in the solar ordinance. So Duke Energy has developed these projects across the country. We design with the intent to be a good long-term neighbor and a member of the community. Unlike perhaps some other projects that you've seen come through, Duke is intending to build, own, and operate this facility long-term. So that is certainly a distinction between us and what we've proposed and perhaps some of the other projects that you've seen come through the county. There's 25 individual landowners that have leased land in for the project, and they are certainly a key and important member of the community as well. And just as important as those neighbors surrounding those. So we've done our best to reach out to all of the surrounding neighbors via multiple rounds of letters. The offer has been made to all the surrounding landowners to have communication with us, to open up dialogue with us. And we've had meetings, we've had phone calls, and we've had exchanges of letters with many of the surrounding neighbors. And we're happy to continue to do that, to make sure that we work with the local community and address the concerns that they have to the extent that that's possible. We were able to demonstrate through expert witness in the Zoning Board of Appeals hearing that there will be a consistent year-round vegetative cover of grasses on this land. The quality of the soils will be preserved and improved. There will not be an increase and likely be a decrease of stormwater runoff. We demonstrated through expert witness that there will be no detrimental impact to wildlife, no hazardous materials introduced to the land, and no detrimental glare and noise to the surrounding neighbors. So I'll let you review the rest of the materials that we've presented here, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. There's some good photographs in the back of the packet we provided that will let you get a good look and feel. And this information was presented to the Zoning Board of Appeals as well. Look and feel for what a project of this nature would look like. But we're very excited to be here and bring this opportunity of strong economic development to the community but also just have an opportunity for Lee County to play a key role in the energy of the future. So with that, I'll just turn it open to any questions that you may have, either at this time or later in this
Yeah,
meeting.
we'll be addressing that later in the meeting, but thank you very
Okay.
much.
Sure.
Marilyn, did you have anything at this time? I'm sorry, sir.
Paul?
Paul.
Paul Gorski, new IT administrator.
Hi, Paul.
I have plenty of comments on this, but I'm a department head. I'm not gonna say it.
Yes, I'm sorry, I hadn't met you in person, only
That's right, we
spoken.
called, we talked.
Uh-huh.
And the mask thing, you know.
Yep. Anybody here? Greg, anything at this time?
I'd just like to introduce Sally Dempsey, who we've hired through Hughes Resources to fulfill the bookkeeping position at Latz.
Nice to have you with us, Ally. Online, do we have any?
Yes,
Nancy?
Mr. Bowers. Oops, I'm
Uh,
sorry.
Go ahead, Adam.
I apologize. Yeah, thank you. Adam Luz, Lee County resident. I've been involved heavily in the past solar projects that have come to the county and been to many of the ZBA meetings and watched details, because details matter, on the way that the layout of an SES impacts non-participants. And Duke Energy sets the bar compared to all other projects that have come to this county. They have refused to improve setbacks that other zoning projects or other solar projects have set. In the fact finding, it does say that they will be at 100 feet from the foundation of a dwelling, which is the smallest setback of any solar SES that came to the county so far. It's the poorest. It's the poorest example of what we should be doing, or what we should be thinking about proceeding with, of all projects that have come to the ZBA. And this is profound, because in another fact that the ZBA found, the company did not adequately prove that they would not negatively impact non-participants. That they did not adequately prove they wouldn't negatively impact non-participating homeowners. And the proximity that the fence and that the panels have to the home's foundations does have massive influence on that statement. That alone should have been enough to have made many people on the board think about what we're doing here. I asked Mr. Kuhn directly in hearings to consider larger setbacks, that the county is looking at the ordinance and they're looking to improve the ordinance, which is what we all had been calling for months. And we recognize a much larger setback around a non-participant to have less impact on them. And this company's not demonstrated a desire to work with them at all. They refused. Many non-participants, fact number 2 stated that, and Mr. Shippert referenced that letters were sent by certified mail, and that fact is indeed false. And I have attempted to object to Mr. Slavin in the proceedings and was struck down, but it indeed is not. The facts that were offered to them as testimony didn't prove at all in verbal, in presentation, or in examples of that they gave in the application that anything had been sent by certified mail. Nothing had indeed. And there was names also recognized that were left off the list of non-participants.
Adam,
that were
this
not
is
notified.
Charlie Boonstra. You're getting into new evidence right now, and you can't bring that up. That was at the hearing.
Okay, so the fact is false, and those are all the facts that are there in black and white for you all to review, and that I hope that you look into. So
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Nancy, do you have anything at this time? Nancy?
She's been muted.
And the other phone number, do we know who that is? I'm sorry. Or Pardon? Oh, Greg Saunders? Anything at this time? Okay, we'll come back to these.
Nancy has been unmuted.
Pardon?
Nancy is unmuted.
Okay, Nancy, do you have anything at this time? Okay, we'll move on. Claims? Animal control. Dave, you want to use the mic?
Very good. This is different. How?
At animal control, which ones you got first, Dave? I just handed you the one for Virginia Gray, and then it should be US Bank, and then Johnson Oil.
Right, okay. First, we have a claim of Virginia Gray for $92.50. Payroll, okay. US Bank for $251.70. Is that all I got?
Johnson Oil, and you got Johnson Oil coming up.
Then for Johnson Oil of $89.49. Wind City Energy for $151.93. Next from Verizon for $98.74. City of Dixon for $37.10. Republic Services for $41.48. For Prince and Stitches for $20. For Adam Lopez for $23.52. For Lots for oil change and et cetera for $34.43.
Grand total of $840.89.
in there for direct energy. The reason why is because they,
What number is that microphone?
it's good. Thanks. Direct energy, there is no bill. We are waiting for actually 2 checks to clear. So that's why there's not one in there. I'll probably do a paid in vacation for that when it comes in.
Move on.
Mhm.
For pet population, Amboy Veterinarian Hospital for $1,045.
That's the only claim for a total of $1,045.
We have maintenance.
Okay, ready for maintenance? Do I need to sign all these or? Yeah, we need to go through them. The next is, first one for Home Depot for $273.30. Direct Energy for $11,441.02. CenturyLink for $540.13. That's for custodial, circuit clerk, and rabies. Another one from CenturyLink for Lee County Courts Building for $1,067.56. Bradford Supply for $4.50. For Home Depot for $6.77.
The one in there for Doors Inc.
Yep, stuck together. For Doors Inc., new cylinders for EMA doors, $289 even. Then the Home Depot one for $6.77, which is already read. Sewing by Deb, repair the big flag at the old courthouse for $450. Cerrone Piping for $9,079.85.
Greg, the Cerrone bill is, scope is heating?
What'd you say, Dave?
The Cerrone, the $9,000 Cerrone bill was for a repair or PM?
Yeah, some of it was for repairs, some of it was for annual checkups, boiler
Okay.
checkup, and calibration on some thermostats and things. What they do is they come back and do several different jobs, and then I don't know why, but they hold the bills for a long time, and then they bill them all out at once.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Next is for Wind City Energy for gas for the old and new courthouse and the old jail for $5,258.20. CenturyLink for $985.19. For Nicor Gas for $1,606.26. Another one for Nicor Gas for the old jail heat of $89.80. Dixon Water Department for new courthouse water, new jail water, old courthouse for $1,051.19. Holland and Sons for supplies of $102.38. US Bank with receipts for $820.10. Dixon Ace Hardware with the invoices for $1,490.26. Aramark for supplies for $259.69. For Home Depot for supplies for $78.96. Prairie State Tractor for $102.38. Johnson Oil for $657.10. Sauk Valley Media for $414.86.
Total $29,825.11. $29,825.
Thank you.
Zoning claims for service on copy machine to SBM for $93.37.
That's total $93.37.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Capital improvement for FIAC, electric and communication. To accounts, the total I have here of $29,559.75.
You want them read off? I mean, they're just broke down here, but
Yeah, go ahead.
that's total is $29,559.75.
29, I'm sorry.
$29,559.75.
Yes. So this invoice is from PSEC regarding Wi-Fi in both this building and in the new courts building. and it's being paid at 75% because we're not yet able to connect it and test it. So we're waiting on some other work by others. So. Nothing in capital projects, tort. Lots.
I got them here.
Yeah, I'm out of, I'm out of paper. Okay. If you want it.
Okay, we're on lots. First for Ace Hardware, $164.70. First Aid, for $730.76. This next one, All Safe Storage Center for $58. For car oil, $95. CenturyLink for $20.99. City of Dixon for $78.02.
Sorry, I didn't get, give me that total on City of Dixon.
City of Dixon. Yeah, I got one for $78 and
Two of them there. So,
you're right, there's two of them back to back here. And another one for $81.87. Combined total of those two for $159.89. Comcast. First one for $459.61. And another one for $273.86. Culligan for $38.04. DC Computers for $89. Direct Energy for $1,383.32. Dixon Chamber of Commerce for $132. For Effect TV for $2,144.30. For Foxter Solutions for $1,350. Hughes Resources for $41,185.74. Relief for $361.03. For Lee County Treasurer for $920. Another one for Lee County Treasurer for $374. Midwest Truckers Association for $291. Oh, okay. Another one for $1,091.25.
Did they come up to $1,382?
Yeah, it does. $1,382.25 for the combination of those two. Next, we have from Morningstar Media Group for $47,142.86. Napa for $1,045.43. For pest control for $55. For Republic Services for $106.70. Rochelle Rotary Club for $100. Sauk Valley Media for $400. For Toyota Financial Services for $752.70. True Tech, $174.63. US Bank. 3 accounts for a total of $767.05. Got receipts here. Next, Verizon for $1,685.03. WEX for $8,871.02. Wind City Energy for $990.69. Whippley, or WIPPFLI for $5,250. WRHL WYOT Radio for $285. WIXN WRCV WSCY for $1,220.
Those are all just your regular claims. Okay, regular claims for a total of $120,000. Start all over. $1,020, $168.60.
No, thank you. Thank you. That concludes claims. I did have one written visitor comment that I'd like to read. I neglected to go through this at visitors and should have. So this is from Denise Burrs, and it's to the Properties Committee and Zoning. I am requesting Properties Planning Committee members vote against approval of the South Dixon Solar petition. My primary reason is because I understand it, no land use management plan exists in the county. Such a plan would outline the total amount of acreage and location of solar farms. Without some type of land use management plan, the county board is setting a precedent to approve all solar farm permits that meet the ordinances and criteria as reviewed by the zoning boards of appeal without consideration for long-term planning. Without a land use management plan, Lee County would become a sea of black. The makeup of the county could eventually become industrial instead of farming. Eventually, a point could be reached where agribusiness jobs are lost at a greater rate than the number of jobs a solar farm will create. To summarize, I am requesting you deny approval of this petition. Instead, I would request the county board take some time to assess the long-term goals of the county, seek public input for a long-term plan, and prepare a plan that will allow for organized development and special use permits. Thank you for time and consideration in my request, and especially thank you for serving as a public official, Denise Burrs. The county does have a comprehensive plan, and it is updated periodically, generally about a 10-year type time frame. And I mean, that I believe is what Denise is referring to. So going on with the agenda. Department head reports, building and maintenance.
Yeah, the only thing I have, Dave, is I just wanted to thank all the other department heads for being patient with the maintenance department, being 3 people down and Mother Nature fighting against us. It's been a struggle. So we do have 1 person back today from quarantine, and I just received word that we do have a new hire starting the 1st of March. So that once we get them in gear, then we'll still be 1 person down that's on a medical leave. But I just wanted to thank all the department heads for being patient with us, and we're trying to do the best we can.
Thank you, Greg. And I would just like to say, I appreciate, as we've said in the past, and it's particularly difficult when you're down staff, we thank you and your staff for all that you do for these buildings that keep us healthy. So much appreciated.
Thank you.
I need a motion for approval of claims.
I so be.
Okay. Marvin and Dave Valley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Planning and zoning, D.
Thank you, Chairman. A special use permit to construct a solar energy system, petition 20P 1558, filed by South Dixon Solar LLC, began the proceedings on December 3rd, 2020, and continued through January 27th, 2021. The Zoning Board of Appeals conducted its findings of fact based on the evidence presented in the case, concluded their decision to recommend to the Lee County Board for the special use to be approved. The ZBA had 4 recommendations to the County Board that if South Dixon Solar's petition for special use is approved, beyond the conditions required by the county's ordinance and those imposed on itself by the petitioner's application and testimony, further obligations of the permit be that the South Dixon Solar LLC and any subsequent entities in interest comply with the following conditions. A, construction times during construction of the SES, construction activities shall commence no earlier than 7 a.m. and shall be discontinued no later than 8 p.m. on any day of the week within 1/4 mile of a non-participating residence. B, archaeological assessment, that an appropriate archaeological assessment be undertaken, and that if further study or other action is recommended or required, the developer comply with the same. C, full decommissioning. The SES shall be fully decommissioned at the end of a 35-year lease term. And D, indemnification. The petitioner will agree to defend, indemnify, and hold Lee County and its officials harmless from and against claims and expenses, including attorney's fees, arising out of the acts or omissions of South Dixon Solar's LLC's operations of this SES development. This petition will be set on the agenda for vote at next week's County Board meeting. Petition 20P 1557, Big Sky Wind Repower, concluded its testimony, and Zoning Board of Appeals will begin its findings of facts section on February 16th. This petition will presumably be brought before the County Board in March. And missing the deadline to get on the properties agenda, I will be presenting 2 petitions to the Executive Committee that the Zoning Board of Appeals will be hearing on March 4th. Petition number 21P 1559, petitioner Jared M. Zellhofer will be requesting a special use permit to conduct his business on Winding Road in Amboy in the production of steel roofing, lawn care and landscaping services, construction of agricultural buildings, and general carpentry. Petition 21P 1560, also petitioner Jared M. Zellhofer, will be requesting a map amendment to rezone property south of Amboy on Illinois Route 52 from Ag 1 to agricultural to I-1 planning industrial for the use of future construction and use of the production of steel roofing. Last month, I had brought up the need to increase the zoning petition fee. I've laid a copy of the zoning fee document in front of you. Presently, the fee for a petition is $525. Several factors that motivated me to raise the petition fee to $600 are the zoning board members get paid $60 per meeting plus mileage. When all members are present, including an alternate and the clerk, 1 meetings per diem is $535. I've taken into account the added security of the building during some of the larger petitions which occur over numerous nights, and also the use of technology, laptops, projectors, microphone systems, and the added workload to the IT department with Zoom and YouTube. This would be a $75 increase to the petitioner. So I'm requesting to the Lee County Board an increase of the zoning petition fee to $600. I would also like to charge a petitioner who needs extra hearings for their petitions an increase of hearing fees from $525 to $600. So I guess I would need a motion to
Make a motion.
Both.
First by Marvin, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
increase the petition fee from $525 to $600, and any extra occurring meetings of that petition, a fee assessment of $600 per meeting. I'll get that to you back. And that's all I have unless you have questions for me.
Any questions for Dee? Okay. Animal control, Terry.
Everybody knows I love to talk. We have been considering updating the kennels, and there is some capital budget in, there is some money in the capital budget that we have put in there. I thought I was on the ball and had an estimate for new kennels, but it ended up, I didn't like it. It's the same material as what I have, and those lasted about 7 years. We have a lot of bigger dogs, stronger dogs, and they've tweaked the gates, and they're also rusting. So we had yesterday, myself, Dave, Greg, and John were looking at the kennels and trying to decide what next to do. We did meet, Dave and I met with a concrete guy to kind of go over. So he's doing an estimate for concrete wall, I guess.
Yeah.
Instead of a panel, like a 2x4 panel type thing.
Sure.
So we're still trying to decide maybe the better route for long term. Like I said, I'm afraid if we get the same galvanized, it's not going to last. So, am I missing anything?
So kind of the big picture, the kennels are worn and rusted. And we do have capital budget as kind of described here to take care of replacing those and also putting a pad and kennels on the outside so that the animals can go outside in and out, allows for cleaning. If you have aggressive dogs, it allows you to isolate them and allow for cleaning, that type of thing. So that was in the plan. Right now, we're just trying to figure out what the best configuration of that is. We're not looking for any action today.
Right.
We are seeking bids for the concrete slab outside and also optionally looking at concrete walls for the left and right side of the interior, thinking that that would hold up much better than galvanized. And then we would just put gates on the front. So we're looking at that as an option. And
We could do stainless steel, but that's
also very,
way out of the ballpark.
also very expensive.
That
So-
would be the ideal,
Mhm.
but
So more to come on this. I just wanted to let the committee know, Terry wanted to let the committee know that, we're starting to look at this and figure out the best way to accomplish it. There's a 1-foot wall. It's a metal building, but the foundation of the building comes up about a foot above the floor. So to have the dogs be able to transition outside, we either have to cut that wall or raise the kennels inside and outside. So we're also looking at those options too. So any questions? Terry, do you have anything beyond the kennels you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay. One of the things I think, as we're getting into a new committee year, I asked Terry for maybe next committee meeting that she could help us all understand more of what animal control does, because it's a lot more than what anybody realizes, I think, and just help us to be better informed of what all happens or what all animal control is involved with, because it's much bigger than I thought, I guess, and that many think, I think, as well. So we appreciate what you do, Terry. Mm-hmm.
Dave, did you have a question? I thought you were gonna raise your hand.
Yeah, approximately how many
Microphone,
animals?
microphone, Dave.
And I would like to-
Dave, can you talk into the microphone?
I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I had a question. Approximately how many kennels were we looking at for animals? And then I'd like to be added on this committee to look into this. My son's into animal control and does a lot of these kennels and stuff. So
Oh, very good.
he has several setups similar to this.
We're welcome to
looking
help.
We're looking at around 12 total.
Pardon?
We're looking at around 12 total.
12 kennels? Okay.
We have about 8. Well, we have 8 right now.
But
And
they're
there's
in
room-
bad
there's-
condition.
Yeah, they're in bad condition, and we would like to expand it to 12.
There are different types, and
Sure.
he has some, familiarity in this, so I could bring him in on that for helping me out. So.
Absolutely. Lots, Greg.
You should have the report before you, except those who are virtually coming into the meeting. I will send it along to Becky for distribution to the full county board. I'll just hit some of the highlights. Since our last meeting, the Mass Transit District Development Advisory Council did have a meeting, which was some good discussion with representatives from both Lee and Ogle counties. One of the outcomes, the main one from this discussion, was a consensus of the members to actually develop an ordinance to send to both county boards. And I believe Brian Brim, Charlie's first assistant in the state's attorney's office, is actually going to be drafting an ordinance that will be going to the county boards. Just an initial earmark, maybe by May of this year. So there will be some time before anything of that nature would actually come to fruition as well. Another update, IDOT contracts for fiscal year 2022. We're just in the midst of obviously 2021, but IDOT has already thrown out the contracts for the next fiscal year. A little change with not so much the 5311 and the 5311F funding for I-88, but DOPE will be going up. The Downstate Operating Assistance Program will be going up by 10% from FY 2021 to FY 2022. A cautionary note, right now 5311F funding for the I-39 route is unknown, and that's because they don't have any additional funding for the maintenance of that route for Greyhound, so we'll see where that actually goes. But we have started conversations with IDOT, and I will have to pursue a conversation also with Greyhound regarding that funding. We might be able to use some of the CARES money to actually plug in there until a defined decision is made. Our single transportation audit has been completed by Whipfly. You got the bill earlier today for $5,250. That's the review of several different funding sources, including 5311, 5311F, as well as our CARES funding that went through the county. If you jump down to the CARES relief funding portion, you can see that the funding that has been provided via IDOT for CARES relief funding for both Burlington Trailways and Greyhound has been started to be tapped into. Greyhound has actually tapped in about 97% of their 6.352 million. Burlington, I think they're about 25% into the mixture so far. IDOT has revised our CARES relief funding. That contract, which goes through June 30th of 2023, is now up to 12.751 million. I did throw some additional information in there about recent ridership, including on the third page a graphic that shows the steady climb from March to present day. Last week we had 709 rides, which is 40%, 45% of a normal year. And then I also threw some information in there about the CARES funding overall, which is that COVID-related funding source through IDOT. And just another note, we're continuing with obviously social distancing and the other protocols related to COVID. And for those interested in participating, because public transit is part of 1B vaccination protocol, we have got some drivers actually vaccinated through that program, through the Lee County Health Department. Unless there's questions, that's all I have right now.
Any questions for Greg? Very much, Greg. Old business, Greg, I'll go through some of these and slow me down if you have anything to add. The food pantry fire alarm system with being short at the present, this continues to be on hold. It's not a high priority, but we're carrying it just to keep track of it. The permanent sneeze guards and door installation in the treasurer's offices, those have been completed. And if you get a chance, take a look at it. It came out very nice. It had a new countertop, the sneeze guards, and also the door between the outer vestibule and the office. The old LEC demo and site preparation for future use. I'm sorry, Greg, nothing there yet.
I just checked the website. They're still hoping to make an award by the end of January. So clearly they have not done so.
So it has not been denied, I guess, at this point, and we'll wait to hear from that, but we'll continue to carry that. Regarding the land and the VoIP upgrade of the old and new courthouse, lots, animal control, county highway update, that work is ongoing. We're carrying on weekly meetings. We actually have the health department up and running, I believe, and with the new phone system. And they're working on the ones that are not here in the major two buildings. So they were out at animal control yesterday. They're kind of a standalone system. The county highway and Amboy will be a standing alone system. Lots also in that situation. So those will be probably worked in before we do the two main buildings. There's some additional preps that are needed in these two buildings. We have a fiber that is between the buildings. It has been connected, and we have all new data switches in both buildings, and those are in process of being livened up and completed so that we can essentially cut over to the new wired network. This building, the old courts building, has been served by a wireless connection to the new courts building forever, and we will soon have a fiber connection between the two, which is a great improvement for the county. The Wi-Fi, as we did claims, the Wi-Fi in both this building and in the new building will be upgraded with both guest and multiple county networks on it. That will be a great improvement for both buildings as well. So that's all I had on that. New carpet. Greg, I'm gonna have to depend on you on where that stands.
Right now they're waiting on me. We're trying to get the pit finished up, and we have to paint that room yet. We've got it all mudded and patched in. We just have to do a little sanding and painting, and then they can come in and go ahead and lay the carpet in that. Last I checked with Carpet Land, the carpet for Judge Klon's area was still has not arrived yet, so I'll have to touch bases with them again and see how that works. We would like to have done that while we were slowed down a little bit because of COVID, but it didn't work out.
Okay. And then we're looking for proposals on this year's work as well for, correct?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I talked to Alan from Carpetland, but I wanted to get, actually gave us a price, but I wanted to get competitive pricing from elsewhere also, and I just haven't had the time to do that yet.
Yeah, we just won't proceed until we have the competitive quotes on that. So
that's correct.
Yep. Lots, Mass Transit District Advisory Committee update. Anything additional there, Greg?
No, other than that the advisory council probably will not meet until there's actually an ordinance that's to review. So at the earliest, we're looking at May of this year. And just an FYI, the development of a mass transit district probably actually wouldn't be baptized because of different things that IDOT needs to do by the start of FY 2023. So we're looking more than a year out at the earliest.
Okay. Next item being Greyhound single audit. Anything additional there?
Just an FYI that obviously this committee did review that, I believe, in December. And then it's just good information also to present to the full county board, because annually Greyhound does have to do a single audit like we do for the transportation costs that they've requested through the 5311F funding. So I will just present that to the full county board more as an informational. If they have questions next week at their county board meeting, I can answer those.
Okay, thank you, Greg. The ad hoc committee to review new solar ordinance for additional enhancements. We did meet actually last week, and I'd say we're nearing completion on the two main areas of topics have been setbacks and screening. And we've come up with where we think we want to land on both of those. We're working at putting what was agreed to in the meeting in theory into words that, into the ordinance. And we will meet at least one more time to review and approve that and recommend it to the full board. So, and that, I guess that has been I think a very collaborative, appreciate the public and the committee working together on that. I think that's worked out very well. Zoning fee changes we've already approved. Maintenance custodial replacement hire update. Anything additional on that, Greg? I know you said
Yes.
March 1st.
We did some interviews last week and had some fairly good applicants. We did choose one, and we offered him a position, and I just heard this morning that he will be able to start March 1st. So I'm hoping, I think he's going to be an asset to us, and can't wait really to get him here and get him on board.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you. The last item there under old business is the old courthouse exterior tuck pointing bid spec and work update. So I'm just passing around to the committee. We worked with architectural firm Tyson and Billy to create for us a project manual for this work of restoring the outside of the building. We're doing final review on that. And we will be posting that for bids. Tentatively, the bids would be due March 5th. We're also in parallel checking with Representative Demmer on the availability of the grant that has been, I say, dedicated to this work. Our understanding of it was that it would be available this spring, but we just want to confirm that before we would award. This is just informational at this time, but I have the actual project manual here. New business, I think covered all of that. And I think we're down to, I guess I would ask, is there any other business before we take up our executive session? Hearing none, I would ask for a vote to go into executive session, I guess, a motion.
So be.
Okay, Marvin and John, all in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll, oh, I'm sorry, we need a roll call? Okay, we'll do it a little slower. Sorry, my oversight. So I vote yes. Dave Bally? John Nicholson? Bill Palin?
Yes.
Marvin Williams?
Yes.
Thank you.